Good morning. My name is Kristen Wilcock, and I am a licensed practitioner here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. And it is my pleasure to lead you in this morning's meditation. Begin by allowing yourself to sit comfortably. I invite you to sit with your palms in your lap, facing upwards, as if you are offering up whatever you are ready to release to the universe. Gently close your eyes and focus all of your awareness on your breath. Let it be soft and gentle. Let your stomach and chest rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. Become extra aware of the peace and stillness that exist in between the inhale and the exhale. That momentary pause at the top of the breath. Let yourself rest there in those brief seconds, finding the peace that exists there for you. Allow that peace to carry over, not only in those seconds of stillness between the breath, but also in every exhale and every inhale, finding stillness as you continue to breathe. As you relax, allow your body, heart, and mind to prepare to surrender. Prepare to let go. Prepare to release any burdens, any worries, any negative thoughts, any fears, anything at all that is not serving you now. Focus your awareness on your palms that are facing open to the universe, and say in your mind, I release, I let go, as if you are making an offering, giving it all over. I release, I let go. You are free to give anything you want up. Just surrender to this moment now. This moment is all there is. I invite you for the next few minutes to keep breathing softly and gently and offering up anything that does not serve you. Release and let go. If it helps, you can continually affirm to yourself, I release and let go of that which does not serve me. I surrender to this moment. I release and let go of that which does not serve me. I surrender to this moment. Allow yourself to feel the energy of releasing and letting go. Notice the beautiful feeling of peace that washes over you when you surrender. It feels so good to surrender to the moment. You can tap into this energy, this peace, whenever you like. All you have to do is release and let go. When you are ready, when it feels right to you, take a nice deep breath in, and when you breathe out, gently open your eyes. Namaste.
Good morning. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Julie Matheson. I'm a practitioner here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm happy to be sharing today's announcements with you. Everyone is invited to the Zoom room for Sunday celebration, and our services are being live streamed to our YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. Please feel free to share our service from our YouTube channel to your own Facebook page. For everyone on Zoom with us today, please feel free to turn on your video so we can see each other, and please keep yourself muted. Thank you for that. We'd like you to know that we will not be having our monthly community meeting today at 12 noon. This is because we'll be holding our 2021 annual meeting 2 weeks from now on Sunday, March 28th. Please join us for our CCSL community meeting next month on Sunday, April 11th at 12 noon via Zoom. We will discuss a variety of topics, and as always, there will be a question and answer time. This meeting will not be recorded. You can join us using the same Zoom link we use for Sunday service. So about the annual meeting, our 2021 annual meeting will take place on Sunday, March 28th via Zoom at 12 noon. Everyone is invited to attend. CCSL members will receive the nominee roster via email in the very near future, along with the Zoom sign-in information and online voting information and instructions. It's very easy to vote, so it's easy to do this. And reminder, only members can vote for candidates, and you must be present at the meeting to vote. No absentee ballots. More details to follow. Do you have a suggestion? Please email it to ccslsuggestionbox@gmail.com. And if you would like prayer after service or anytime throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our Facebook page. That's the news for today. Please enjoy our opening song, Let the Love Flow, with Carissa Holmes and our center trio.
All right, let's let the love flow. When I open my heart, when I feel it glow, when I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. Oh, when I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow, glow. When I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. Light me up, fill me up, open up. Light me up, fill me up, open up. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow, when I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Rev Ami Papadopulo, and it is my honor to welcome you here this morning. Good morning. We are an inclusive organization that honors and respects and welcomes everyone, no matter where they are on their spiritual journey. Wherever you are welcome here. Thank you for joining us this morning on our Zoom, or thank you also for joining us on our YouTube channels, Columbus CSL, or thank you for watching us later on our YouTube channel. This will be recorded and it'll be available on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so, and remember to give it a thumbs up and ring the bell. Glad you're here. So would you please read our mission statement along with me? We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community using the science of mind, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. And I'd like to thank practitioner Kristen Wilcock for the meditation this morning. And also thank you, Kristen, for holding our virtual High Watch for service today. Holding High Watch just allows us to expand and go deeper into the message this morning. So she's kind of holding that idea, that space for us this morning. So thank you, Kristen. Also, our opening song was provided by Carissa Holmes, along with our center trio from Carissa's YouTube channel, which is Creative Conscious Living. Now I'd like to reintroduce practitioner Julie Matheson. Julie.
Thank you, Reverend Amy. We now begin our sacred service with the ringing of the bowl. I would now like to introduce community member and my husband, Jim Matheson, who will be giving us the reading this morning. Jim?
Thank you, Julie, and good morning, everyone. Today's reading is from the Personal Affirmations of Eugene Holden in the November 2018 Science of Mind magazine. Fear keeps us hanging on to what doesn't work in our lives. It keeps us from surrendering to our good. Surrender has two sides. First, we surrender all that does not serve us. Then we surrender to our greatest good.
Thank you, Jim. And now let's take about 15 seconds and move into the silence together. What a blessing that we can be together this morning via a technology. And we know we're always connected, always one with each other in our hearts, in our spirits. And please join me this morning with an affirmative prayer for our service, that we are joining in that oneness of love and joy and peace that is always at the center of every moment, in the center of us, in the center everywhere at once. The joy, the peace, the love, the intelligence, the wisdom, the guidance that is always there. And I know that today's service is blessed. I know that every word spoken is wrapped in love and light. And I'm so excited for this message this morning, delivered by Reverend Amy on the topic of fear, and that we are able to receive it and use it in our lives that is best and right and perfect for us. I know that the music is blessed. I know every prayer is blessed. I know that the message is blessed. For this, I'm so grateful. And I release this blessing into the law of cause and effect, knowing that it is now made in our experience, made right and perfect in our experience. And I release it, and please join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for that. And thank you, Jim, for the reading. So good morning. It's my honor and my pleasure to be here to deliver this talk this morning. And the theme for today, the talk title for today is Release and Let Go. And like Jim shared in the reading and Julie mentioned in her prayer, we'll also be talking a little bit about fear. So through the Centers for Spiritual Living, we have monthly themes that if a center chooses, they can use these themes and talk about the ideas presented. We have about 350 international centers for spiritual living across the world. And this is something that I know that we do here in Columbus, is that we have been using these themes throughout this year. So the month of March is about being open to the highest idea of our lives. And we're doing that by talking about and practicing the spiritual practice of visioning. And visioning is opening up to the impress of spirit through this idea of visioning, the spiritual practice of visioning. And what it does is it allows us to tap into the realm of possibilities, of potentiality. So it allows something so much greater than we can even begin to imagine to emerge through us. So we open up to the infinite so that that infinite can come through us. So we surrender, we let go of that fear, and we release, and we ask, what is Spirit's highest vision for my life? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm also going to give you an affirmation. So I'll just say it here, that the affirmation I'm going to be talking about that I really want you to take away with you today is, I let it be all right to be all right. Let it be all right to be all right. But before we go there, before we start into the meat of this, I'd like to just ask you all to take a moment and to ask yourself, why are you here this morning? I know at least here in Columbus, it is a beautiful sunny morning. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful morning. You could be at lots of different places or watching other different things on Netflix, whatever you might be doing this morning, or in a different spiritual community. But my question for you is, why are you here? So I'd like for us just to take a moment, if you'd like to, close your eyes and go within. And why are you here? Are you here for inspiration? Are you here for comfort? Are you here for hope? Are you here for celebration? Let's all just take a moment and tap into that. What is it that you need, that you want? There you go. Good. So setting that intention, not only for yourself, but you also set that intention for all of us here. You set that intention for all of us because it's all one. So this idea of release and let go, the idea of let it be all right to be all right. There's another spiritual practice that we talked about, was it last week or a couple weeks ago, with the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono, which says, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So the idea here that really, as we talk about our spiritual principles and we talk about spiritual practices, one of the things that I really want to make these talks very applicable to our lives, like the idea of practical spirituality, something that you can take from these talks and immediately implement it into your life to enrich your life, to make your life better. So with that said, we know that as we set our intention, the law always responds to us. You know, it's been said that we take one step towards God and God takes 100 steps towards us or 1,000,000 steps towards us. We set that intention and we open. And we know that the underpinnings of the universe is unconditional love. So we're met exactly with God's love when we set that intention, the universe's love, whatever you want to call it. So this idea of visioning, this idea of opening up to Spirit's highest idea for ourselves is right in alignment with our core principles, with our declaration of principles or our core beliefs. And specifically, the one core principle that visioning is in alignment with is this one. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual, and that any person may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. Now notice, this is available to everyone. And the God that our founder, Ernest Holmes, talks about is the indwelling God. It is the indwelling presence that we all have equally in its entirety within us. And yet God is beyond. It is in us and yet beyond. So visioning, this process of opening up to the infinite, is opening up to that place where God resides within us and yet beyond. We've talked about before panentheism, the idea of panentheism, and that God is within us and yet more of us and yet beyond us. Different than dualism, and that dualism says that God creates us and then separates or is somehow different, or that we are all that God is, and that is not what we teach. We teach that God is this and yet more. So in visioning, we open up to what's in us and what's bigger than us that wants to come through us. And visioning is a spiritual process, spiritual practice that was developed by Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, who was also trained as a religious science minister. He says, our lives are transformed and expanded when we live in and from the question, what is Spirit's highest idea of itself as my life? That's the question. What is Spirit's highest idea of itself as my life through me? Because it can only do for us what it can do through us. So there are 4 or 5 questions. The first one is, what is Spirit's idea? And these are the questions in visioning. And I'm going to talk about one of them specifically today. The questions are, what is Spirit's highest idea? What is it that I need to embrace? What is it to let go of? What is it for me to become? So what is Spirit's idea? What is being called of me to let go? What's being called to embrace? And what is it that I need to become? And usually it's the I need to become after this. I had them confused. It's usually what is it for me to become after we capture Spirit's idea? So the thing about visioning that is also true, that is also, I know for me, it's kind of a tricky thing. I know I find it's a tricky thing that, I got to practice and I forget. It's the idea, it's the principle that when it is asked, when we ask, it is given, right? We're told that in the Bible. When it's asked, when we ask, it is given. So when we ask Spirit, what is Spirit's highest idea for me, for my life through me, it is done. So it is already, it's like in quantum physics, the wave collapses and it's done and it becomes particles. Now, the work then becomes our work. The work then becomes for us to get out of the way, to remove the blocks that stand between us and our own highest idea that's wanting to come forth, which it just makes me laugh because all the work is done. All the work is in here. Isn't it always within us? It's always within us. So today, the release and let go, which is the theme of our talk today. That's what we're talking about. How do I release and let go? How do I release that which is blocking Spirit's highest idea of me, as me, through me? Michael Beckwith tells us that 100% of spiritual growth is letting go. 100% of spiritual growth is letting go. The releasing and letting go of ideas, of beliefs and attachments that no longer serve us creates space and openness for God to go through us and in us, because God can only know itself as us and through us. So when we release and let go, it also removes obstacles and impediments for that living vision that wants to come through us. Releasing and embracing is where our work lies in visioning. Releasing and embracing is what ours is to do once we ask that question: what is God's highest idea for my life? Now, releasing is about making room for a greater good. And when I say good, what I mean by good is life affirming, life promoting, life moving forward, not necessarily in the good and the bad that we typically think of, but it's life affirming. Releasing is about making room for a greater good to be expressed or received, for a change to take place and for a healing to take place. Releasing is not based on what we choose to release, but it's about Spirit's highest idea of revealing to us what must be released. So we also will say, Spirit, what is it within me to be released? And since that all-knowing, all-present Spirit is always within us, it knows what's necessary for us to embrace. Did you get that? That all-knowing Spirit that's within us knows. It responds to us when we ask. And our job when we vision, and the theme for today's talk is about our job is to let go and release. Our work is to be still, to listen, and to follow through. Sometimes that's the hardest part for me. I'm good about sitting in my chair, doing my spiritual practice, but man, when it comes time to listen and follow, sometimes that can get really scary. And I want to share a personal experience and how I used that idea of let it be all right, that affirmation of let it be all right to be all right, to help me, that really, really helped me to open up and let go. So it was, gosh, that's probably 10 years ago. And I was here in Columbus. As many of you know, my husband died, gosh, what is it now, 14 years ago. And it took me about 2 years to do my spiritual, or to do my forgiveness work, to get into some grief therapy and therapy to just deal with what happened. He had a heart attack at 38 and my daughter was just 1. So took me a couple of years to get into that, the grief therapy. So I'm working in grief therapy. I was also a practitioner at the time. So I knew these principles. I was part of this community. So I was working my spiritual practice, working my principles. And I remember hearing, I was at a seminar and I heard Reverend David Alt say, my pain does not make me special. And I just was like, oh, it hit me. My pain does not make me special. So I started to work with that. And what I realized is that I had a good story. Sometimes I still say, gosh, I got a good story. I was a widow at 37. My husband suddenly died of a heart attack. I have a baby. That's a good story. What am I going to do with my life? Where am I going to go from here? It's a good story. But when I heard David Alt say, my pain doesn't make me special, and going through grief, my grief work, I began to unravel that. I began to kind of pull that apart. And he also said, David Alt also said, what makes me special is just because I'm here. Just because I'm here makes me special. And that's not only true, of course, for me here, us on Zoom, it's true for everyone. We don't have to prove our worth. We are worthy and we are special just because we're here. So as I was working my grief work, working my grief, crying my gallons of tears, and I was starting to see my life, gosh, and this was probably 4 or 5 years after he died. I was starting to release the pain, release the anguish, release the fear. And I realized, you know what? My life was really pretty good. I was a practitioner. I was healthy. My daughter was healthy, still is healthy. We're both healthy. I had a home. I had moved back here to Columbus to be part of my family, to be close to my family. I had a spiritual home. I'm educated. I had money in the bank. My life was good, but it was hard for me to release that story of the ain't it awful story, my story is a good story. And it was almost harder. It's so funny, isn't it? It's almost harder to say, I'm going to let it be all right to be all right versus be in that place of ain't it awful. So this affirmation of let it be all right to be all right is how I released that fear and continue to release the fear, continue to release that story. And my story, my pain doesn't make me special. What makes me special is just because I'm here. And so as I release those blocks, and as I released the pain and the fear and the anguish and the heartbreak, what spirit wanted to come through me was to go to ministerial school. So I really believe, and it's so funny, and I talk about this sometimes when I'm speaking, this part isn't in my notes. I had no idea that I was going to say that. And I'm not even sure that I've ever really verbalized that idea of, as I let that go, as I let it be all right to be all right, that's what opened up that way for ministerial school. I don't think I'd ever really put those two together. I always knew that I wanted to go, but I didn't know how, when, or where. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. So, releasing, opening up, and it's also about how much good can we stand? How much good can I stand? How much good can I accept? We live in a culture that doesn't always celebrate or embrace or encourage, those kind of good feelings. But in this community, we do. And in this practice and in this philosophy, goodness is our nature. Goodness is what God wants to give to us. Excuse me, I have an itch. So back to what we were talking about, releasing and letting go, moving out of the fear, letting go of the fear. We've also talked about the different levels of spiritual growth. As we move through our spiritual growth, as we go from victim to manifester to in me to as me, the more advanced we go in that evolution of our consciousness, spiritual growth is not about getting. Spiritual growth is not about acquiring things or education or stuff or whatever. It's not about acquiring. It's about letting go of that which doesn't serve us. But just like Jim gave us in that reading, it's also about letting go and letting out that vision. That letting go, like we had in the reading this morning, is two-sided. The releasing and the letting go of that vision. And I tell you, now that I think back about it, like thinking I was going to go to ministerial school, I was like, how can I go to ministerial school? I'm an only parent with a young child. But that wanted to be birthed through me. Spirit wanted to have that experience, and it felt big, and I didn't want to let it go. I didn't want to embrace it and release it. That's what it's really like, right? When we step into our power, when we step into alignment, when we step into what is ours to do, we release that into our life. Fear. Eugene Holden also tells us fear keeps us hanging on to what doesn't work. This is what Jim read to us. Fear keeps us hanging on to what doesn't work in our lives. It also keeps us from surrendering to our good. Surrender has those two sides. We surrender all that does not serve us, and then we surrender to our greatest good. So I invite you this morning, surrender. Let it be all right to be all right. To grow your God if you need to grow your God. I know there have been many, many times in my life where I have needed to grow my God, whether it's taking a class, calling a practitioner, reading a book, going on a retreat. I think we probably all need to grow our God some. I don't know that that's ever really a thing that we ever really attain. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know that I could ever grow my God enough to where I would say, oh, I've got it. So let it be all right to be all right. Let go, release the fear and release your goodness. So let's go back to the beginning, to the intention that we set to the beginning this morning. As you set your intentions, as we all set our intentions don't manifest out there. Our intentions manifest from that God within us. We ask and it is given within us. So check in with yourself. Let's all check in for a moment. Did you get within you what you needed? Did I get within me what I needed? And if I didn't, I can turn within and ask, guide me, guard me from fear, and direct me to the places that I will find it within me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So in this place of contemplation, let's take that into prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That Ho'oponopono prayer, I absolutely know that it is of the one mind, of the one spirit, of the one divine idea. Is I know that this one is everywhere in all traditions, in all religions, in all of it. There is this one in its unique expression. And it is also true that this one mind, this one spirit, this one God exists in, through, and around and as us, as unique individualizations of the one. And so I speak my word right here and right now for each and every person on this Zoom, in this Zoom room, on YouTube. I speak my word on behalf of each person hearing my voice of a release and a letting go of that which does not serve, a release and a letting go and a turning away of fear that is false evidence appearing real. That is fear. I turn away from that which has kept me small, which has kept me locked down within myself. And instead I turn towards the light and I turn towards love. As I turn towards God and God responds back to me, it's almost like I see that proverbial hand being reached out. That the inner dwelling, that indwelling presence says, with you, I am well pleased. Come, shine, be, for it is all right. So I am grateful on behalf of each and every person this morning that our consciousnesses have been expanded. Our hearts are filled with love. Our minds are filled with divine ideas. And we go out this week and our week being guided by the divine within in a world that works for everyone, one person at a time, starting with us. I know it, I claim it, I demand it, and I let it go. I release it with a grateful heart. And together we say, and so it is. I think we need to all take a breath. I know I need to take a breath. God is good. So now it is the time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you for the ways that we are all continuing to support the center during these times. Your donations, your gifts, your tithes are important because it helps us fulfill our vision statement to create a world that works for everyone. We know, believe, and teach that God is our source and that we are circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. So the ways to give here in Columbus, you can text to give at 614-681-8616. And these will be put in the chat here on Zoom, and also will be put in the chat on YouTube. You can also visit us on our website at columbuscsl.org. And there's a PayPal button. That's how I always do it. During our circulation song, I go to our website and I donate. I like to do it on Sunday mornings. You can also mail your donations to CCSL PO Box 14462 at Columbus, Ohio. Or you can set up auto pay through your bank and have your donations sent to us. And one of us can help you. If you want to call the office, Robin can help you, or I can help you. Just let us know how we can do that. And before we move to our affirmation slide, I'm just going to ask our practitioner, Tammy, who's helping us today with the slides. Tammy, would you please put those ways to pay in our chat and our Zoom room, please? Thank you. So please say our affirmation with us, with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
When I open up a channel to receive, when I open up my heart and just believe, when I know I am infinity, when I open up my eyes so I can see, I can feel it, circulation, circulation. When I open up my heart and just believe, when I know I am infinity, when I open up my eyes so I can see, I can feel it. Can you feel it? Circulation, circulation, ooh, circulation. Circulation.
Thank you for that beautiful song, Carissa, and thank you, Reverend Amy, for that amazing message. I've made a list of all the reasons I'm here while I was making notes about everything that you gave to us this morning. Thank you so much, and please join me in an affirmative prayer of gratitude for our offering. I am so grateful for this community. I'm grateful for all the generosity and the giving. I know that we are one with an abundant universe, a co-creative universe that is within us, all around us, within us, and it is within our community. And it is one of the reasons I come here is to remember that I am co-creative, to remember that I am creating all of it. And I did remember that this morning. Thank you, Reverend Amy, and thank you, Kristen, for the beautiful meditation, and thank you for the beautiful energy that you each brought. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Robin, for all that you do all week. And thank you, all of you, for being here, for being a part of us, for supporting our mission and all that is important to us, and for celebrating with us our nature, our abundant nature, our ability to surrender, our ability to live free and to have a bigger God every day, and to have demonstrations that show us that show us our growth, our inner growth, our spiritual growth. And for all this, I am so grateful. And please join me in releasing this into the law, and join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Julie. So I'd like to thank our practitioners. Thank you again, Julie, for assisting this morning. Sorry, I lost my place. Thank you, Kristen Wilcock, for the beautiful meditation this morning. Also, thank you for holding High Watch. And thank you, Jim Matheson, for the reading this morning. Thank you to Matt Vidal for being our YouTube moderator. And thank you, Robin Brookhouse, for hosting on Zoom. Thank you, Tammy Evans, for helping with the videos. And thank you, I keep losing my place. And thank you to Carissa Holmes and the Center Trio for giving us the music today. We shared that from Carissa's YouTube channel, which is Creative Conscious Living. And thank you everyone who is here today for our Sunday celebration. If you are new or joining us for the first time, we welcome you. We would love to send you a welcome packet in the mail with information about us. You could do that by contacting the office. The phone number is on our website, or you can send us a private Facebook message. Also, if you are here first, or if you're here for the first time and you'd like to stay after for some fellowship afterwards, please feel free to do that. So please say our blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is. Please enjoy our closing song.
You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. Though you may walk in the wilderness, there ain't no need to be afraid, no, no. You are a star of the brightest kind, the Most High. Oh, you and me, we got luminosity. We are nothing if not hotter than the sun. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. And deep in the moonless night, when you cannot see the sun, may you be the one to carry the light with you everywhere you go. To carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. Be the light.